Probably because he's thinking it might be going for more of a roach build, but I'm transitioning into the air. I want to go to the mutas. Check it out, 37 to 34, so not too horrible right there. I've got 2 per patch. That's kind of right where I want to be if I check this one out. I can live with that saturation right there. That's not too horrible. I could use a few more drones, but nothing that's under acceptable levels. So +1 going down right away. Very, very important if you do the math. And 4 overlords because I've just been supply capping myself like crazy. Wow. But this +1 upgrade is the most beneficial attack upgrade that your mutas can get because it increases the damage for not only the first attack, but each subsequent bounce as well. None of the other ones have the advantage of being able to do that. So 37 to 38, he's just macroing up really good, chrono boosting out those probes. We look at the mains right here. Both of our mains are going to be looking pretty sparse, although he has mined his out quite a bit more because of how quickly he got that up and running. If we go and check out the unit composition, 8 charge lots, 1 immortal, and 5 stalkers to 26 lings, 18 roaches, 4 mutas. God, if I would have known this, I would have pushed out hardcore. But right here, you can see that he's got a decent wall and able to instantly reinforce with those warp gates. So I sent the Zerglings in just to see what was going to happen. If he had it walled off, I'd lose a few Zerglings, but if he didn't, I could run in there and just wreak havoc. But now that I kind of have an idea what's going on over there, and you can see that there's just a really small wall here. If I made a move on either of these bases, it wouldn't be that hard to drop it. And those starports, he actually wants to cancel those and transition them into a robo facility, which I'm okay with that, because if I'm going for mutas, and I will eventually be trying to protect the Broodlords because they just do so well against Protoss, I'm going to want to have those out there. So I'm taking the high yield over here, and I know it's a little risky because he has this base over here and he can apply pressure from both angles. This base is bound to be attacked. But in the same time, if I expand over here, it's a little safer, but it has a lower overall benefit, and expanding over here is just so far away. It's way too close to his main base, too close to where he's going to expand, and I'm going to be sending my mutas out to go and actually check out his main base right now. So he's going to be expanding down here. Right now he's working on getting a Colossus out on the field. So these mutas coming over here because my Zergling got killed and let me know that he's moving out. He's got 1 Stalker here, and then he's got a Sentry. That's going to be an easy pickup. And I'm just going to start tagging these guys. There's no reason I shouldn't stay here and just get any little pickup that I can on his military. So he's bringing in 2 more Stalkers. I'm just going to run around. I'm going to snipe some probage. Income right here. You can see that his macro is actually quite better than mine, but these Stalkers are going to go down, and then I see that he's got this Colossus over here, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I'm going to pick this off, because that's 200 minerals and 300 minerals and 200 gas that he's not going to have back, and that's a devastating force to my ground army. And just look at how annoying these Mutalisks are being right here. These Stalkers warping in 1 or 2 at a time, they just really don't stand a chance, especially not with the +1 weapons. And I'm going to pick off another Colossus over here, because he really can't afford to move these troops away. They wouldn't get there in time. I could just fly away from them, and then I could rush in there with all these troops, which is actually kind of what I'm hoping. If I see a big ground force moving in from the side, I'm going to rush his other base. But 3 Stalkers here, they're going to be able to do a decent amount of damage to these mutas. The mutas, they're getting pretty banged up from all of the attacking that they're doing, but 0, 4, 2, 4 kills, just being super, super annoying. Gonna fly these guys away. They'll live to fight another day, but 2 Colossus, probably 10 Stalkers, some probes, just crazy good pickup, and I have not saturated well at all. I've only got 1 drone on that gas, and you know, this one's, like I said, not bad, but if you guys follow my replays, you probably know that I'm not really the best at saturating my bases. Like, I think I just seem to get it to an acceptable level and go, but I think the reason why I stopped producing drones is I'm looking at this muta build, especially with the roaches out on the field as well, and if you check it out, I am upgrading right now. I've got level 2 weapons going down right there. I will be getting pathogen glands, and I will eventually get adrenal glands. I'm using a lot of gas on tech. I know it's just costing me a lot to get that done, and this Muta Ling build, Muta Roach build, is just so heavy on the gas that as a Zerg player, you'll find yourself with excess minerals, which I guess there's no reason why you couldn't be building more drones at that point, like just for a better switch, but the Roaches with their new range ability, and then the line of sight that the Mutas are giving me, just look at them snipe those units out right there. Roaches are just doing crazy, crazy good damage with that new 4 range, and then I'm going to pull him back, wait for that shield to go down. He's warping in a sentry, and he's actually going to reinforce that force field, that tricky guy. He's just keeping all those guys out there like, we can't get through. And I'm just going to pull my mutas back. I'm going to wait for this force field to go, and I'm going to push in, and I'm going to move. So if we take a look at this right here, He's got 2 Colossus on the way. He's got a bunch of Stalkers. Not going too heavy on the Zealots just because Stalkers do better, 15 damage, be armored against the Roaches and the Mutas. It would just be a little foolish to get too many charge lots. For the same token, just look at how many Zerglings, how many Roaches I have. This is not where you want to be as a Protoss, having this many units on the field. If I, again, a little bit of better scouting could have revealed to me that I could just literally overrun this base, that he's running off of 1 base right now. I should have attacked, I should have pressed on, but, my line of thought in this was that it's getting to the point where I've got my hive down, and as soon as this level 2 weapons is done, I'm going to be going to a greater spire, and I'm just going to take the opportunity to macro up. I've already got my corruptors ready to go, so when I make my push, I'm just going to make a big game-ending push, and this Roach is actually just kind of chilling back here. Like, I want to get stuff. And I'm actually going to have him kill these 2 gases, just for the fun of it, because I realize he's over here, and I'm like, you know what, Roach? You can have your own private vendetta against the Protoss assimilators over here. They're not going to change you. No one wants to change you for the way you are, and any time now with that Greater Spire, that would just be absolutely awesome if you were to do that, but he's going for weapons level 2, he's trying to get another Nexus down, because at this point he basically needs to, and there you go, seek revenge against the evil Protoss assimilators. Oh, you're gonna melee him? Oh, you are such a tool. Anyway, back to the actual important stuff that's happening on the game. If you check this out, sending out another scouting Zergling, it's really crucial that you do this. Now, because I sent out that Zergling, now I know, oh, he's expanding over here. So, what am I going to do? I'm probably going to grab, a small force of my Zerglings, a small force of my Roaches. What I've been doing this game is, for my Mutas, right here, which I actually don't have that many of. I have more Roaches and just so many Lings. I've got 86 Zerglings and 29 Roaches. Wow, so I'm sending in all of those guys. But right here, he knows that I'm going to be moving in and attacking this base. And 3 Colossus Stalkers, some Zealots, just, oh, Zergling soup right there. Wow. I mean, I probably wouldn't have had enough troops to brute force my way through that, but if you check that out, he killed 6 Zerglings right there. These guys, once they have that level 2 weapon upgrade, they one-shot Lings. My Lings do not have any ground upgrades. There goes the Adrenal Glands, Greater Spire almost done, but it's just not in a good position. But looking at this, I should be a little bit more balanced off right now, and holy 3,000 minerals. I did not realize when I was playing this I was sitting on that many minerals. The reason why I'm sitting on the gas right now is because as soon as that Greater Spire is done, which it is, I'll be dumping that onto these Corruptors right here to make Broodlords out of those guys. And I'm actually throwing up another expansion down over here. Oh, dude, you're making yourself look really bad. Just turn them into Broodlords. There we go. And I'm getting really close to 200 supply, so at this point it's inevitable that you will start banking some money. But as a Zerg, that means if you attack and your attack doesn't work, you can just kind of have like the retry button, where you can go back, you can rebuild your army almost instantly. My creep spread is getting a little bit better, and it could have been so much better in this game. I had ample time, I could have had creep all the way over there already. Kills my tumor, fries that Zergling, so now I know that he's moving out. And with this force right here, checking out the units, it's just simply not going to be enough. No, I'm moving in all the Zerglings, all the Roaches, and, those Zerglings, they're going to get picked up. I'm going to lose quite a few of those, but I really could care less about those Zerglings. I've got so much money right now. Take a look at this, over 3,000. I'll rebuild them. I didn't lose any Mutas. I barely lost any of my... I didn't lose a single Roach. And that was just an awesome pick-me-up. I threw away, 60 Zerglings to take out all the Colossi, the Stalkers, and the reason why his army was so small is he was denied this expansion when it was just starting to get going. He's barely got this one saturated. This one is going full bore, but I picked off 2 Colossi, a bunch of Stalkers earlier, and just harassed the heck out of him this entire game, and really didn't give him an option to get a big army. If we check out the food count, 194 to 89, no, I'm basically just going to steamroll right on over this with all these Roaches, and normally speaking I'm not heavy on the Roach play, but it just felt right this game. I don't know, the Roaches just, they spoke to me. And Broodlords, of course, just being utterly fantastic, and I could have been doing the ground upgrades. If you're going to go for Broodlords, you actually should do ground upgrades, because, like ground weapons, because it actually is very beneficial to the Broodlords. But right here, this is basically going to be a GG right here. That Nexus is going to go down. And he even says, "GG, sir," and he's just like, "Yeah, dude, your timings were pretty spot on," and that was just a lot of luck, but luck because I had good scouting. Because I was able to scout, he wasn't able to be aggressive at all. He was never really able to amass an army. I mean, when this attack came, if it would have had 10 more Stalkers and 10 more Stalkers, a few more Zealots and Immortal, and 2 Colossi, the things I picked off with those Mutas over here, that would have been a much more menacing army. Or, if I wouldn't have scouted this expansion over here, I could have pushed on this main base and just been met with a huge army because he would have had this expansion, this one going. If I just would have sat back and not attacked and not scouted. So for any Zerg players out there, just little things like grabbing one of your Zerglings, you should really always have at least a few Zerglings mixed in with any army. Just grab one. I guarantee you he won't make a difference if you lose one of them when it comes down to the big fight. Well, I won't guarantee that, but like this guy, he's a hero. He's got 2 kills, but just shift, click, 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 run him around, and if he's running, all of a sudden your Zergling dies, click over there real quick and see what's going on. Was it just a small little scouting party, or did you run into a base with a photon cannon over there, and you're like, whoa, I had no idea that was expansion was there, but there's only 2 photon cannons. If I run 20 of my other Zerglings, or if I run half a dozen roaches in there, I can stomp that before his army gets there, and if his army shows up, I'm going to run away. I mean, those are just the kind of tactics that you need to employ as a Zerg. It's like, we only really had one big engagement, but all the harassment meant that my army was double the size of his by the time I came. Look at this guy. He's doing a flip for joy. He's like, woohoo, we won, yay! So anyway, thank you very much. This is Malikicowtipper signing out.